and you run PastaRamen. So tell me about that.
Yeah, correct. I mean, where do we even start?
Wherever you want.
So yeah, basically, pasta ramen was kind of my brainchild from during the pandemic. Everyone kind of had to shut down their restaurants and all that good stuff. My first two restaurants, Viaggio and Osteria, to keep them alive, turn them into the markets, did the sandwiches, that whole thing. But about halfway through the pandemic, I was kind of like, I was just frustrated. I was like, this is great. I was, super grateful that I was able to save my restaurants and knew we were going to kind of make it through it. But at the same time, I was like, wow, I just had to put like, all my goals and all my dreams on hold for like the past year. And I was like, this isn't fair. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I came up with this really crazy idea. My first two restaurants are strictly Italian. And, I feel like an Italian restaurant opens every 5 seconds across the world. There's always one opening. So I wanted to be different. I kind of, went into hiding and did a lot of research on like what I could do. When I was in culinary school, I said to myself, I will never dabble in Asian food. I was so intimidated by it. I was like, that is something I never want to get involved in. I just loved Italian cuisine. I loved the simplicity. I loved highlighting the ingredients, and there was so much to learn that I was like, I'm never going to feel the need to leave Italian food behind. And like I said, then during the pandemic, kind of started doing my research. I heard about this wafu-Italian cuisine, and I was never a fan of fusion. Like I honestly like almost like despise it. I feel like it's very gimmicky. So as soon as I started reading about wafu-Italian cuisine and realized that it's a cuisine of its own, and there's really people doing it in Japan and in Italy, and it's something that people really kind of go out to eat for and look for, was the more I fell in love with it. So here I am researching this, really kind of diving headfirst into it, and thinking to myself, this is something that's really cool. So I started doing these underground tastings at my one restaurant, Viaggio. I called them Tasting Tuesdays. And we would basically sneak people in the back door. We would lock the back door behind them, and they would sit at my chef's bar, and I would cook for them what I now call wafu-Italian food. And we basically sold it out for like 5 months to where I had to start doing it on Mondays. So I did it on Mondays and Tuesdays. It was a super high kind of price tagged tasting menu. And that's kind of when I really started figuring out, hey, I'm onto something. I would have Japanese diners come in and tell me about how, this was something they miss most from Japan. And like, I would hear people say these things, and I was like, oh my God, like I really figured something out here. Like, this is really incredible. And the more I kind of studied it, researched it, and saw how like, the flavors and styles are the same, the more I was like kind of intrigued and just like, I really kind of struck gold on this. I need to run with it. So that's about the time I sat down with my now business partner for PastaRamen. And his name's Luck, longtime friend of mine. We always knew we were going to do something together. We just didn't know what it was going to be. So I sat him down. This was middle of the pandemic, like I was still surprised he even let me in his house, but I was like, I have something, we have to meet. So we're sitting at his dining room table, like far away from each other, and I'm telling him about this pasta ramen, and I said, we should pop up in secret locations. We should make it kind of like this secretive thing. People love this stuff. No one else has got anything going on right now. It's the middle of the pandemic. So we invited, our first 10 or 12 people. It was all our close friends. And before the end of the dinner, they were like, listen, you have another 12 coming next week, so I hope you're ready to do this. And that's kind of when PastaRamen was born, At first, we kept my name a secret, so like no one in New Jersey knew who was doing this insane tasting menu at a secret location. You didn't get the address until the day before the event. And then obviously when people came in, they saw it was me, and a lot of people in New Jersey kind of knew who I was from my first two restaurants, but we told everyone to keep it secret. So we did the whole secret thing for maybe like 4 or 5 months, and then eventually we came out with, hey, it's me doing it. But the location always stayed a secret. So ever since PastaRamen was born, we did about 15 locations in New Jersey, 3 in New York City, 3 in Miami, 1 in LA, and 1 in Seattle. So we kind of traveled around the country with it, kind of staying true to that speakeasy nature, and definitely staying true to like, it doesn't have to be in a restaurant. Most of our locations are non-restaurant settings. Like our last location in New York City was a salon. We did a glass blowing studio in Seattle, a food studio in LA. And that's part of it. I think a really big part of pasta ramen, not just being that it's a different cuisine, being Japanese and Italian, but it really kind of folds a lot into the experience. Going out to dinner is an experience. It's not just about the food. What was your drive there like? Were you sitting in traffic? How was the weather? Were you out on the beach and your feet were in the sand when you were eating? Like, all these things add into it. So I kind of took that and ran with it. And I really wanted people's experience to start from the second that they were finally able to get that reservation link, that secret reservation link to book at Pasta Ramen, like fighting for it, looking for someone that's been before. Please send me the link. So they finally get that link and they're like, they struck gold, and you're already giving someone some inside feeling, you know what I mean? And then, leading up to your reservation, people are like Googling it, trying to find on Google, like, what is this? Where am I going? What's the building? Oh my God, what is this building? This isn't even a restaurant. And then always walking in is an experience. So, we're blasting music inside. We usually deck out the place like super pasta ramen vibes. And that's kind of, the gist of the start of pasta ramen. And then, Luck and I sat down and we had the opportunity to, take over a space here in Montclair, New Jersey. And Montclair is like the restaurant capital of New Jersey. It's, really kind of nice downtown, tons of restaurant shops and stuff like that. And I kind of said to myself, I'm done opening restaurants in Jersey, but they kind of just keep falling onto my lap. I'm actually in the process of opening like 2 or 3 more right now, but that's a whole nother story. So yeah, we ended up opening Pasta Ramen in Montclair. I like to describe it as an Italian ramen shop. And obviously it's not that super kind of fun, fine dining omakase anymore where it's, 12 courses invite only, but we did a really good job to kind of capture that same vibe that we go for here at Pasta Ramen. And yeah, it's been a complete success, knock on wood. Super happy with kind of everything we've created here.
Yeah, I hear Montclair is a great restaurant city now. And when did you guys open the brick and mortar space?
So exactly a year ago now, beginning of February, end of January.
So it's an Italian ramen shop. So what can I order there? What are some of the dishes?
Um, yeah, so some of our classics that were on our omakase menu, we actually transferred over just because they were like complete favorites. I knew I had to have them on the menu. One is like a cacio e pepe gyoza fritti. So we literally take cacio pepe sauce, we shove it inside a gyoza, we deep fry it. Another one is a sesame uni ramen carbonara. That was one that was on the omakase menu. So, making your traditional carbonara sauce. We do a little miso, a little sesame in there. We're using Hokkaido uni, fresh from Hokkaido, Japan. We buzz that into our carbonara sauce. We're pouring that sauce table side over the top of some mochi ramen noodles. Mochi ramen is known for its tsukuman, so it's like a dipping style, but we're not making guests dip it. We're just kind of dumping that sauce over the top to make it easy for them. Yeah, all sorts of different dishes that are really kind of meshing Japanese and Italian cuisines.
That sounds awesome. And about what does it cost per person on average?
Um, I would say anywhere from, it is a ramen shop, you can come in and get your one appetizer and one ramen and, run away for, $40 a person. But we also have like Japanese A5 Wagyu on the menu. So you can actually like dine, which that's what I think is really special about it because we are in a downtown and, there are those foodies that have kind of followed me and they know what I like to put out. So you can come and you can have that full experience where you're trying all sorts of dishes and you're spending a little bit more, but you can also come in and have one bowl of ramen and leave for under $30.
And you got a full bar, cocktails, all that kind of stuff, right?
No bar. So New Jersey has some crazy liquor license laws
Right, you have to
where,
wait for someone to die before you can get their liquor license, right?
yeah, exactly, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, no liquor license here right now. We do have something in the works for Pasta Ramen though, with a liquor license. So we'll see what comes out of that. But yeah, right now it's a BYOB, which is kind of special. As much as I'm mad about it, my first restaurant that I opened in New Jersey was a BYOB, but that's just kind of like the New Jersey way. So To be honest, I'm kind of secretly semi happy that we had to do this first pasta ramen as a BYOB. I just think it really kind of, it's the Jersey way.
But it makes it a lot harder to make money, doesn't it? Or to turn a profit.
Oh, insanely hard. You go to any other states or talk to any restaurant people and you tell them about how a liquor license in Montclair goes for $1 million, and they're just like, they can't even fathom or believe what I just said.
So what you could do is develop mocktails, sell them, and let people add their own vodka to them. Do you do
Yeah,
that?
so we do,
Oh,
we do some really really cool mocktails. They've been a hit ever since we opened. The New Jersey laws really kind of put out there that you're not really supposed to promote, hard alcohol and bringing it in and mixing it into mocktails, but not something that I would ever turn away.
well, there's a big movement toward. In fact, they call it spirit-free cocktails now, not mocktails. Like that's a legitimate thing to do. You're not just making mixer. You're
Yeah,
you know having a
100%.
legitimate drink for them. So you said you're opening two, three more restaurants. What are they going to be, or is it still a secret?
Um, so one's kind of still a little bit of a secret. I'm opening a Italian sandwich concept down the street here in Montclair, so not even a block away. It's called Fatto con Amore. So high-end Italian sandwiches, just done right. Fatto con
And that
Amore means
made
made
with
with
love.
love. So yeah, obviously, I think that's one thing that, with sandwich shops, people just open a sandwich shop to try and like make money, and they forget to like actually make the sandwich with love and make it taste good. And I feel like the people that actually put passion behind sandwiches, those are always the sandwich shops that just like blow up. So that's exactly what we're going to try and do. We're having a little fun with it right now. We do like a sandwich drop every 3 weeks. So out of PastaRamen, every 3 weeks on Sundays, we do like a surprise sandwich drop where we sell 70 sandwiches. People come at 12 o'clock, pick up the sandwich drop. This past Sunday, we did a meatball parm. It went over really, really well. So that was
Mm.
super exciting. And then my other spot that I'm opening like a really hip, kind of vibey mozzarella bar. I feel like, those Jersey Italians, it's right up their alley. It's called Bar Mutz, so it really fits the vibe. And that is going to have a liquor license. So super excited about that. Really big kind of Italian cocktail program and just kind of really casual vibes. It's going to be next to one of my other restaurants up in northern um, New Jersey, Westwood. So I have a restaurant up there called Osteria Crescendo, and it'll be directly next door. Osteria Crescendo is a little bit more on the fine dining side, so it's going to be nice to have like a really casual, kind of hip, vibey spot next to it.
And mutz, for people not from the New York tri-state area, is mozzarella.
Is mozzarella. Yep, nailed it.
Yeah, and that's exciting that you're opening a sandwich shop because New Jersey has the best sandwiches on earth. They're just fantastic, and so to have more is exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of traveling. I lived in Vegas for a while, Colorado, Europe, and if there's one thing that I always miss in any of my time that I haven't been living here in the tri-state area, it's always been sandwiches. It's just something that like, even growing up when like I was in the kitchen before I even wanted to be a chef, it was like throwing together something in two slices of bread is, that was like my masterpiece back then. So, yeah, you kind of nailed it, in the tri-state area, sandwiches, it's like you can never go wrong, you can never miss, and it's definitely something that's always exciting.
And they're made with love.
Oh yeah.